For hundreds of years, the Indian Ocean was a really busy place. It was more than just a body of water. It was a vibrant hub of activity, teeming with life and energy. The ocean served as a vast highway, connecting distant lands and diverse cultures. It wasn't just water, it was like a big meeting place for people from all over. Traders, explorers, and adventurers from various corners of the world converged here, bringing with them not only goods but also stories, traditions, and innovations. Merchants sailed across it, bringing goods and new ideas. Spices from the east, textiles from India, and gold from Africa were just a few of the treasures exchanged. These interactions fostered a rich tapestry of cultural exchange and mutual influence. The Indian Ocean connected the East and the West. It was a crucial link in the chain of global trade, facilitating the movement of goods, people, and ideas between continents. It linked Africa, Asia, and the Middle East. This vast network of trade routes created a melting pot of cultures where languages, religions, and customs intermingled and evolved. Sharing goods and ideas changed the people living around the Indian Ocean. The exchange of knowledge and traditions led to advancements in science, art, and technology, enriching the lives of those who participated in this dynamic network. It helped trade grow, cultures mix, and new religions spread. The Indian Ocean was a conduit for the spread of major religions like Islam, Hinduism, and Buddhism, which left a lasting impact on the regions they touched. The east coast of Africa was super important in this network. Coastal cities like Kilwa, Mombasa, and Zanzibar became bustling centers of trade and cultural exchange, attracting merchants and scholars from far and wide. From busy cities to powerful empires inland, East Africa was a key part of the Indian Ocean trade. The wealth generated from trade helped build powerful states and empires such as the Swahili city-states and the Kingdom of Zimbabwe. This video will explore how East Africa was part of this ancient trade network and how it changed the region's culture, economy, and society. Join us as we delve into the fascinating history of the Indian Ocean trade and its enduring legacy on East Africa. The East African coast, stretching from Somalia down to Mozambique, was dotted with a series of vibrant and bustling cities. These cities were not just random settlements, but were intricately connected, forming what is known as the Swahili coast. This region was a melting pot of cultures, where African, Arab, and Asian influences blended seamlessly. The Swahili people who inhabited these cities were a unique mix of these diverse cultures, creating a rich and dynamic society. These cities were all connected and formed the Swahili coast, a network of trading hubs that played a crucial role in the Indian Ocean trade. The Swahili coast was not just a geographical area, but a cultural and economic powerhouse that facilitated trade and cultural exchange across continents. The Swahili people, a mix of African, Arab, and Asian people, lived in these coastal cities. They spoke Swahili, a language that itself is a blend of Bantu and Arabic, reflecting the multicultural nature of the region. Their attire, cuisine, and architecture also showcased this unique blend of influences. They were great sailors, had a mixed culture, and were important in the Indian Ocean trade. The Swahili sailors were renowned for their skills in navigating the treacherous waters of the Indian Ocean, using traditional dhows to transport goods and people across vast distances. Some of the most important cities were Kilwa, Sofala, Mombasa, and Malindi. Each of these cities had its own unique charm and significance. Kilwa, for instance, was known for its wealth and grandeur, while Mombasa was a key port city that facilitated trade with distant lands. Each city was special and traded different goods. The markets in these cities were bustling with activity, offering a wide range of goods from gold and ivory to spices and textiles. These goods were highly sought after in markets across the Indian Ocean. These cities were in important spots along the coast. Their strategic locations made them ideal hubs for trade, connecting the interior of Africa with the rest of the world. The Swahili cities were perfectly positioned to take advantage of the monsoon winds, which facilitated maritime trade. They connected the inland parts of Africa to the rest of the Indian Ocean world. Caravans would travel from the interior, bringing valuable goods to the coast, where they would be shipped to distant lands. This made the Swahili cities crucial links in the global trade network. Traders brought things like gold, ivory, and sadly slaves from inland. These commodities were highly valued in international markets, and the trade in these goods brought immense wealth to the Swahili cities. However, it is important to acknowledge the darker aspects of this trade, including the tragic and inhumane slave trade. These were very valuable in markets across the Indian Ocean. The goods traded in the Swahili cities were in high demand, and the bustling markets were a testament to the region's economic vitality. Traders from Arabia, India, and even China would come to these markets to buy and sell goods. The Swahili cities were like the middlemen, connecting African traders with buyers in Arabia, India, and even China. This intermediary role made the Swahili cities incredibly important in the global trade network, facilitating the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures across vast distances. The Swahili city-states were experts at trading over the sea. They had connections all across the Indian Ocean. Their ships, called dhows, were a common sight. These dhows, with their triangle sails, were perfect for using the monsoon winds. The monsoon winds, blowing from the northeast in the summer and the southwest in the winter, made trading and traveling across the Indian Ocean easier. The Swahili merchants sailed far and wide, carrying goods and stories. They went to the Arabian Peninsula, trading with Arab merchants in busy ports like Aden and Muscat. They also sailed east to India, trading in the busy ports of Gujarat and the Malabar coast. Some even went as far as China, trading with the powerful Ming dynasty. The Swahili coast had valuable things that everyone in the Indian Ocean wanted. These exports were what kept the Swahili city-states going. Traders brought many goods from inland Africa to the coastal cities. Gold, mined in places like the Zimbabwean plateau, was very valuable. Ivory from elephants was another important export, used for carvings and jewelry. Animal skins, especially leopard skins, were also popular. Sadly, slaves were another major export, taken from wars and raids inland and sold across the Indian Ocean. These exports from the Swahili coast helped the economies of faraway lands and made the Swahili merchants who controlled the trade very rich. The Swahili city-states also bought many things from across the Indian Ocean. These imports showed the different tastes of the wealthy Swahili people and what people wanted in their markets. From the Arabian Peninsula, Swahili merchants brought back frankincense and myrrh, nice-smelling resins used for religious things and perfumes. They also imported well-made textiles, swords and daggers from Yemen and Oman. From India, they brought back cotton cloth, silk and spices. Spices like cloves, pepper and cinnamon were valuable for their flavor and for keeping food fresh. From China, Swahili traders brought back porcelain, silks and beads. All these imports made the Swahili city-states richer and more culturally diverse. The Indian Ocean trade helped spread Islam to East Africa. Arab traders, many of whom were Muslim, brought their religion with them. As they talked with the Swahili people, they shared their beliefs. Islam became very important on the Swahili coast, slowly growing and spreading. Many Swahili people became Muslims, liking its message of equality and justice. Mosques, where Muslims worship, were built in Swahili cities, becoming important parts of the city. The call to prayer from the tall towers of the mosques became a common sound. While the Swahili city-states thrived on the coast, a powerful kingdom grew inland in southern Africa. This kingdom, Great Zimbabwe, became very important between the 11th and 15th centuries. Great Zimbabwe showed how advanced and wealthy African civilization was. The name Zimbabwe probably comes from the Shona words Zimba Zamabwe, meaning houses of stone. This describes the most amazing part of Great Zimbabwe, its huge stone buildings. These structures, built without cement or glue, show how skilled the Shona people were. The city of Great Zimbabwe, with its big walls, palaces, and ceremonial areas, was the capital of this powerful kingdom. Great Zimbabwe became powerful because of its location and control over trade routes. The kingdom was in an area with lots of gold and other resources. This allowed Great Zimbabwe to control trade between inland southern Africa and the Swahili coast. Gold, mined nearby, was a major export along with ivory, copper, and animal skins. These were taken to the Swahili coast and traded for fancy goods from across the Indian Ocean. Archaeologists have found things like Chinese porcelain, Persian glass beads, and other foreign objects at Great Zimbabwe. This shows how far its trade network reached. The Indian Ocean trade had a big and lasting impact on East Africa. This vast network of maritime routes connected various civilizations, facilitating not just the exchange of goods, but also ideas, cultures, and technologies. The trade routes spanned from the Arabian Peninsula to the Indian subcontinent, reaching as far as Southeast Asia and the eastern coast of Africa. These interactions laid the foundation for a rich tapestry of cultural and economic exchanges that would shape the region for centuries to come. The Swahili coast, with its mix of African, Arab, and Asian cultures, shows this. The bustling markets were not just centers of commerce, but also melting pots of diverse traditions and languages. Here, traders from different backgrounds would meet, exchange goods like gold, ivory, and spices, and share stories and knowledge, enriching the local culture. The Swahili language, a Bantu language with Arabic words, is spoken by millions today. This linguistic blend is a testament to the enduring influence of centuries of trade and interaction. Swahili serves as a lingua franca in many parts of East Africa, bridging communities and fostering a sense of shared identity. It shows the mix of cultures on the Swahili coast. Festivals and traditional dances celebrate this unique heritage, showcasing the harmonious blend of African, Arab, and Asian influences. These cultural expressions are living reminders of the region's vibrant history and the enduring impact of trade. The buildings on the Swahili coast, with mosques, palaces, and houses made of coral stone, show the influence of Arab and Islamic traditions. These architectural marvels stand as silent witnesses to the region's historical connections with the broader Islamic world, reflecting the artistic and cultural exchanges that took place over centuries. We can still see the legacy of Great Zimbabwe in the amazing stone ruins. These impressive structures are a testament to the ingenuity and architectural prowess of the ancient civilization. They also highlight the extensive trade networks that once connected Great Zimbabwe to the Swahili coast and beyond. Even though it eventually slowed down, the Indian Ocean trade changed the history, culture, and identity of East Africa. The artifacts and ancient ports that dot the coastline are tangible reminders of a time when East Africa was a bustling hub of international trade. These remnants offer valuable insights into the region's past and its role in the global economy. It reminds us how connected different societies are and how powerful trade and cultural exchange can be. The legacy of the Indian Ocean trade serves as a powerful reminder of the interconnectedness of human societies. It underscores the importance of cultural exchange in fostering mutual understanding and cooperation, lessons that are just as relevant today as they were centuries ago.